Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. It's been a minute. Sorry about that. I guess I had some wool gathering to do and just needed to hit like the reset button for a bit. But I am back, and I think I've got a pretty cool one for y'all to talk about today, and that is the Pula Audio Unicrom. Hope you enjoy the thumbnail, inspired by the 90s graphic novels, Transformers graphic novels. Unicrom, basically a badass. And the question is, does the Pula Unicrom actually live up to that badassery? And we're going to get to it and talk about why it does or why it doesn't. So the Unicrom is another 10 millimeter beryllium coated or plated dynamic driver. I looked through my collection and what I have on hand as far as singles go. I did a comparison with all of them, and that was from the Kiwi Ears Cadenza all the way to the Athena from TFC and Angel Ears. Of course, the Sivga Q, the original Q, and the other one, which didn't come with a case, so I had to get this one. That's the R2E3 and CVJ Mermaid 2, also beryllium driver, 10 millimeter. So it had some competition, some pretty serious competition actually. The Cadenza, I don't think I even did a full review. Maybe I did like a 7-minute or something like that on the Cadenza. Yeah, that's like for value. I still recommend that set for people who want to stay under $40. Sometimes it goes down to under 30, like 27, 28. Just wonderful value all around, and it reaffirmed that for me that it was and still is superior value for the price. Beryllium drivers really not well known to me at the time. Like it could have been a DLC or an LCP or ceramic or titanium. I wasn't really paying attention to driver composition, like material wise. So the Cadenza was a real pleasant surprise. Interestingly, the Cadenza came immediately after one of my least favorite sets, which I think was oh gosh, what was that? It was C3, Tin Hi-Fi C3, which I sent back within an hour of receiving. But it kind of really brought the energy, whereas the C3 had almost nothing, kind of dead flat, unexciting. And it was one of the first IEMs, early in my journey that got me excited about the potential for really good value as well. So that was in there, tough competition there. And along with the others, I think made it a pretty well-rounded, comparison. And it was a fun time doing it. Unicrom came with me camping. It was I'm sorry. That was the ill-fated TSM armor that came with me that's now headed back to China. Unicrom was here when I got back. And so I started in with this a couple of weeks ago and have just had a blast with it during that time. Let's get to it. All right, we got a box to unbox and some specs to talk about. So on the specifications, we have a sensitivity of 101 decibels, although I've also seen it at 103, but on the box it says 101, so I'm going with that. Resistance is 32 ohms, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz for your frequency range, and then it does have the 2-pin cable with a modular termination. Composition of the shells is 3D printed resin with stabilized wood faceplate. These guys are really nice. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're anything special. We've all felt this build before, but it is well done for the 3D printed resin. No seams, no rough spots. It's very smooth. They're super comfy to wear too, which is nice. On the faceplate, always have trouble with this light and the reflections, but just trying to pick it up a little bit for y'all. This is the blue one. Okay, you can get blue, green, yellow, or black. Even the black has some details to it, in the stabilized wood. So it's kind of like, pick your favorite color out of those four, and you can order it. That actually has some pretty decent detail in it now that I've got the light on it. But hopefully that's not reflecting too much for y'all. Yeah, no complaints on the build quality. It's solid and comfy, as I said. No issues at all with the fit. Nice. And didn't notice any pressure buildup on it, which it shouldn't. It's got the vent and it's a single DD, so there should not be any issues for people with pressure on them. Cable's good. I mean, let's consider this is an $80 IEM, and obviously it's got a modular termination, so you get 3.5 and 4.4 with it. But little on the thin side, just ever so slightly tangly. Nothing really, like, I've had much worse cables than this. And the fact that it's $80 and you get a modular cable, those are really, that gives it some extra points. I guess I'm just used to I don't know if it's a sister company or a cousin company, or as far as Meyer Audio goes, they shared, I think it was the Pula PA02 and the Meyer Audio CK-LVX D41 were basically the same IEM with a different shell, same tuning, same drivers, same driver configuration, same graph, so, but as I was reminded several times, because I kept asking for a while, by one of my favorite reps, Juanita at Meyer Audio, they are not Pula, and they are not directly related to Pula. So, interestingly enough, this is the first set that I've reviewed from them. Obviously, didn't see any reason to get the PA02 because I already had the D41. And I don't know why I've just not really sort of gone after their IEMs until now. The price is right. We all know at least the potential of a 10 millimeter beryllium plated driver is always pretty darn good. The question is, did they live up to it? Did they live up to their potential? So let's get into it. Quick unbox, and then we'll get into the sonic impressions and the graph. The graph, if you saw it, I posted on or in the community section a couple of weeks back when I first got them. It speaks for itself. So nice unboxing, nice magnetically sealed, flaps like so. In here is the other termination. There's the 3.5. Didn't put the cap back on it. Not that it really matters that much with gold-plated stuff, but anyway. Some ear tips in here. The cable was also in here, and the case was in here. It's nothing super exciting. Here are the ear tips. They're fine, Again, nothing to write home about, but totally fine. Little take on Dunu candies there. Comfortable enough. These are cool as well. Little narrower bore. Just couldn't utilize them because, the ears don't. There's only certain ear tips that work in my ears, and they're usually, medium on the right, large on the left, or medium large on the left if I'm lucky. So most of the testing was done with good old Divinus Velvet, although they did handle, or sound, I should say, sound very good with both the black and orange pen and L tips. And did I do anything else? Oh yeah, I actually think I did use the wide bore from the Divinus Velvet tips, but did find it to just took a little too much of the bass away. The medium bore width ear tips or slightly narrow really did well with these. Final Type E, I felt like the Final Type E actually took a little soundstage, like a little immersion away, so I didn't really stick with those for too long either. But they're fine. Yeah, so nice unbox, really kind of sparkly on the outside. All the information is there that you need, and you get your cable, you get your ear tips, and you got a spectacular case. I love this case. It's got the felt on the inside, sort of suede feeling on the inside, and leather on the outside. I don't know if this isn't real leather. They did a heck of a job faking it. It feels super nice. And it holds the earphones fine. I was able to tuck in the TP35 Pro dongle DAC without any problem. But anything bigger than that, you're probably going to run into, some space issues with the case. But seriously, it's a really freaking nice case. Considering some sets, like, the Mermaid 2, didn't come with any kind of case or pouch or anything. So I appreciate this, especially in the sub 100 category, that they took the time to put a nice case in there. They put a modular cable on it. These are definitely all things that are positives for my overall impression with for the set. So I'll put the cable back on. Let me show you the colors really quick, and then we'll bring up the graph. So there's the blue, the green, sort of a dark forest green, if you could see it there. Let's see, yellow is more goldish than yellow, I would say, a little orangey gold, but that's their yellow. And then the black is black with just some traces of like silveriness through it, some striations in there, so it's not just flat black. Really nice looking set, honestly. Overall, just really nice looking. All right, to the graph. And my sonic impressions. The graph really, to me, like, I think they kind of nailed it, with this. I think it was definitely more of a tune to the driver, not the target situation. I feel like they tuned it really, really well to the driver's capabilities, in my opinion. They did really well with it. Sub bass is there. Nice little rumble. Mid bass is definitely there. You're going to get some nice punch out of it. Mids are not too recessed. They're a little warm. Definitely musical, engaging. The overall timbre of the set is pretty natural. And the ear gain, not incredibly aggressive, just kind of just right. Treble might be a little rolled off for some people, but I found it to be very enjoyable. You can definitely hear this little peak up here around 11 to 12K, but it's not annoying because it's a brilliant driver and they tend to handle those peaks a little bit better, like with a little bit more smoothness than some other kinds of drivers, like ceramic, for example, can sound a little bit harsher. So yes, I'm a fan of the curve. I think they did a wonderful job with it. I think that this is a set that really, really does outperform its price point. I feel like $80 doesn't really, like, from a price standpoint, doesn't really do the set justice. Although I'm happy that it's not more. Obviously, as a consumer, I love a great value, and that's what this is. The one thing that I found about that I sort of discovered about this set as I listened to it more is that it really reminded me, my reaction to it, both initially and over time, really reminded me of my reaction to the Artti T10. Like, that first IEM that broke me, Unicrom actually kind of broke me again. Like, it was definitely like a sit down and, or sit up, whatever you are, stand up, sit down, take notice, whatever. It's a take notice kind of set. The thing about it, other than the balance, which it has amazing balance, is that it's got a sense of space that I was not expecting. I was expecting and hoping for the natural timbre. I was expecting and hoping for, and it delivered from a technical performance standpoint with micro details and separation and imaging, like all like right on, but it was a separation that really kind of stood out to me, like everything in its own space, and also just the overall sense of space without being like a crazy 3D kind of imaging, it just has this sense of space to it. Like, nothing sounds crowded, nothing sounds jumbled, it's not shouty, it's just, it really makes you take notice. Like, it really does. Just with its presentation is so clean and very clear, still, yet it doesn't sacrifice like technical performance. It doesn't it doesn't sacrifice naturalness for technical performance. It doesn't really doesn't sacrifice anything. It's just a damn fine IEM. You look at the curve and it tells you what it's going to tell you. Like, it's basically almost perfectly balanced. And I think the only other set that I've heard this year in that sort of sub $100 category that even comes close to how good these perform was the Jazeer and Z Reviews Defiant. Like, that was another set that I was like, damn, this set is good. Like, I don't even want to like believe how good this set is. But it was. But the problem with me, or for me, with the Defiant was the pressure buildup. Like, there wasn't enough venting. I guess you can't really vent BAs very well, but it feels like they just kind of didn't vent it enough, and that sort of maybe gave it a little unfair advantage over some other hybrid sets in that price range. I don't know. But it sounded damn fine, and this sounds damn fine. So if you were interested in the Defiant, but either you're not a fan of hybrids or you're worried about your pressure sensitivity, the answer is the Unicrom. Because it's easily as good as the Defiant without the pressure buildup. I'd say it's probably even a little bit more natural and musical than the Defiant, but it definitely is more musical and natural than the Quatio, and I love the Quatio because I think it's got really, really good technical performance, but it is a little bit on the sterile side, a little bit on the clinical side in some aspects. The Unicrom is not. The Unicrom is a musical set that is still technical. It is a lush, somewhat warm signature, but still displays amazing separation and a really, really nice sense of space. Nothing ever seems crowded in it. So, dang, well done, Pula Audio. Seriously well done. I'll be exploring more from this brand. Maybe I'll try to get in touch with them and see if they'd be willing to send me some review sets in the future. But for right now, I'm just super, super happy with this one. And, because I compared it to the T10, just how shocked I was at how good it is, especially for the price. It's funny because right after the T10, the original RD-T10, I reviewed the Tangzu X Divinus Verse 1. Well, guess what's coming this week? Verse 2. It's not a collab with Divinus this time, but it is the Voodoo Verse 2. So that's just an interesting coincidence to me, because the last time I was this impressed with a set for its price point was back with the RDT10, because that thing was and is still sick for its price. This is definitely sick for its price. Not brain melting tier, not up there with the big boys, but right in that tier below, without even considering price. It's right in that tier below, in that truly special kind of tier. You factor in the price, damn, you can't really do much better, in my opinion. From the sub bass drops to the little tinkling bells, at the very top, it covers it all. And if you're, I don't know, if you're an airhead, maybe you feel like it's just gonna be, I don't know, the space is just so good. It just has that sense of space to it, almost airy, if not quite. If you got them, you'll see what I mean. It's the separation and the soundstage together. Even though the soundstage isn't gigantic, the separation just makes these feel so spacious and just so enjoyable to listen to. No fatigue, no weird edgy stuff going on, Just smooth, polished, and lovely from bottom to top. So dang. How did it do? How did it do compared to the other Beryllium driver sets that I mentioned? It rules them all for me, of the ones that I have. And I think the closest one performance-wise, maybe in tuning as well, would be the Civga Q. OG, not the UTG, the original Civga Q, which is a Beryllium driver. The Athena from TFC and Angel Ears maybe comes in sort of third there. Maybe tied with the Cadenza, because the Cadenza is so much less expensive and is a little bit smoother, not quite as peaky as the Athena. But the Athena's got better techs and a little bigger soundstage. But dang, that Cadenza is good, and the Cadenza, for me, I still like it better than the R2E3 Mermaid 2 from CVJ. I think it's just a better IEM. CVJ's got, always has the edge, it seems like, in accessories and stuff. But the Cadenza sounds better. And when it comes down to it, even though you don't get a case with the Cadenza, and it's a pretty basic cable, and not a lot of ear tips, they're very good. It doesn't matter. $35 for these guys. The ear tips and the cable almost cost as much as the actual IEMs, but they were worth it to me to put that kind of investment into, because they just sound so good, and it was really nice to get to know them, to get back with the Cadenza, because it had been a while since I listened to them. So yeah, there you go. The Unicrom rules them all. It's one of my top values of the year. It's definitely making the top 10 value list. It might even be the top value of the entirety of 2025. We still have about 3 months left, so we'll see how it finishes up. Wait, 3 September, October, November. 4 months left. August just ended. So I hope y'all had a great summer. I will be back sooner this time than later. That's a promise. I feel like half the time this is like an episode of it's like the Truman Show, that movie with Jim Carrey, where people are just watching his entire life. Sometimes it feels like that with this channel. I might overshare a little bit from time to time, but that's me, and by now you know that. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Do me a favor, if you have kids, give them an extra hug for me, or for you tonight, I should say. And yeah, let's do our best to take care of them, shouldn't we? Give them great education, protect them from guns, let them be themselves, let them be kids. We owe it to that. We owe that to them. They're the future, right? Didn't Whitney say that? I'm pretty sure she did. Okay, that's it for now. Highly recommended. Pula Unicrom. Damn, that is one hell of a set for $80. Go get some. For now, be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see you again real soon.